Alright, what's up mga Chimek? So once again, Sir Zello is here to discuss the final subtopic with regards to hydrocarbons. So, alright, for our objectives for today, these are the things that we are going to talk to. So first, once again, repetition, according to Saint Ignatius, the repetition will help us to master things. So let's recall the rules in naming alkanes, alkenes, and alkynes, but not as thorough as we've been discussing from the previous video. And then, we'll finally introduce and define arenes, or aromatics, our cyclic hydrocarbons, and state and apply the rules in naming arenes. So, seemingly little, but we have three different cyclohydrocarbons. So, I'll give you the gist of how to name them all for this session. So, without further ado, let's go! Alright, so to begin, let's try to get an overview of what we have done so far for the past few weeks. So we started the rules in alkanes, so we focused a lot to maximize our time here. Then we had the alkenes, alkynes, and finally, the last of them all, the aromatics, or the arenes. O, arene, which? Si arenes. Sarot. So, yan. Ang babadoy ng joke ni Sir Jello. So, we had the alkanes, the single bond molecule, the saturated, ending in ANE. We have the alkenes, ending in ENE. The unsaturated. So, the first one is saturated. I don't know if what I've said a while ago. So, alkanes are saturated, meaning they are full. Unsaturated, they are enough if you can remember they are not enough if you can remember the analogy I had with the juice, or the milk you are preparing. So you have the ENE for them. And the alkynes, there's a triple bond. They are still unsaturated, and we use YNE. So if you're wondering where did this tree came from, I suggest you watch our pre-recorded videos on the YouTube in our synchronous session where we had a lot of practice and clarification in our Google Drives. Especially it's posted in each Google Classroom. So, yan. The last thing we've learned is how do we name alkynes. The structure like this one, we tried to name it, and we learned that we prioritize. Of course, we find the longest chain first. So this might be my longest chain, if you can follow the cursor. And then, next thing is we count the number of carbons such that the multiple bonds, either the triple bond or double bond, will have the least possible number. So obviously, I'll start counting from here. So 1, and I know that in a triple bond, this indicates 2 carbon connected. So I'll have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you're confused right now, why am I doing this? Why am I counting from left to right? I suggest you go back to our previous videos and watch the entire discussion on alkynes, as well as our synchronous, or our previous sessions, to check the differences in alkenes, alkenes, and alkynes. So here we have 9 carbons, and we have an attachments at 4 and 8. So since I have a double bond and a triple bond, so I should write first the position of my double bond. So that's 7 non for 9. That's non. But it's a double bond, so it's in. However, I'll be dropping the E, separate it by a hyphen, and place 1 ine. So this will be the name of my hydrocarbon without the attachment. 7 nonin 1 ine. Because there's a double bond on my 7th, and there's a triple bond on my first carbon. And then I have methyls at 4 and 8, so that becomes 4, 8, dimethyl, 7 nonin 1 ine. So this will be the name of my alkyne. Sige. If nahihirapan dito, again, rewatch the video. So that's two numbers separated by comma, number separated to a letter by a hyphen. So 4, 8, hyphen dimethyl, hyphen 7, hyphen nonen, hyphen 1, hyphen in. So there you have it, no, the rules in naming alkynes. Now, how about the last kind of hydrocarbon, no, the aromatics, or to be literally speaking, these are just your cyclic hydrocarbon, no, to make it sound easier. So let's digest what does the aromatic means. No, it's a hydrocarbon, so meaning it's still a compound composed of none other than hydrogen and carbon, and it's cyclic. No, unlike our aliphatic hydrocarbons, meaning our straight-chained hydrocarbons, this one is circular in nature. No, it contains rings. If we draw it in a Lewis structure, they are linked together either by single bonds. No, when there's a single bond, we call them cycloalkanes. For sure, you're getting why we use A and E, because single bond. If there's at least one double bond, then we have ins, no, cycloalkenes. And finally, if there's at least one triple bond, we call them cycloalkynes. These are all unsaturated hydrocarbons, no? So tandaan, si alkenes lang ang saturated hydrocarbon. We sometimes call them cyclic structure. And why do we often call them aromatics? No, if you've smelled your lemon, your cinnamon, your food, no, that you are eating, no, it's because most of it is probably because of our cyclic hydrocarbons, no, of our cycloalkanes, cycloalkenes, etc., etc. So this stuff again are not random things in just a book or in a lecture video. These things are we are experiencing in our day-to-day basis. So we are experiencing it without even realizing it. I don't know, I'm stuttering. Maybe I'm tired. Yeah. Pero push, konti na lang. Alright, so how do we name the cyclic hydrocarbon? So how do we name our arenes, our aromatics, etc., etc.? So, of course, same with naming alkynes, now we'll still follow the rules, or naming alkanes and alkenes will still follow the rules and laws and regulations by the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemists. So again, we are guided by their rules and principles. So let's begin with cycloalkanes. I'll probably give 3 scenarios for each so that we can have an idea of how to name them. And on Friday, during our synchronous session, we'll give a lot of examples starting from alkynes and then our cyclic hydrocarbons. Alright, so I've learned that my alkanes are straight hydrocarbons with one or with a single bond. So if I draw a condensed structure, my methane would be CH4, my ethane, that's 2 carbon, would look like this one. So question, before I proceed any further, can this 2 carbon considered cyclic or cycloalkane in nature? No, right? Obviously. Then obviously, my methane, no, my 1 carbon cannot be a cyclic one, because we're talking about as a rotating alkane, no, as a straight chained alkane, but has closed itself. No, it becomes cyclic in nature. So therefore, the minimum to have for a cyclic alkane, no, though hindi siya circular, is a triangle. Now, this is very rare kasi this is unstable. Usually, the bond here breaks, no, so that they become straight chain. But they exist. No? And here, you can only have 2 hydrogens. So, I'm drawing the condensed structure yet para na i-imagine natin. So, that's the condensed structure. You can even call it the expanded structure. And then, to draw the Lewis structure of this one, it's a simple triangle. And the name of this one, since I have 3 carbon, the name should be, diba? Pag 1 meth, pag 2 eth, pag 3 prop. So this is single bond, that's a propane. However, since it's not a straight chained hydrocarbon, it's a cyclic one, this becomes my cyclopropane. Alright, kapag may 4 akong carbon, so I will not put the details too much. So my 4 carbon would look like this one. So if I draw this in skeletal structure, ganyan yung itsura, no? Cyclic pero box. This becomes my cyclobutane. Kapag meron akong 5, so parang bahay. So sorry, pasmado. Sige, ayusin ko para hindi nalilito. So mahirap sa DigiPen. So yeah, parang bahay siya. With 5 corners na lang, bilugan ko na lang. So 5, that's pentane, but it's a that's cyclopentane. Now, paano kapag may chippy? Piatos pala. Chippy. Piatos. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's cyclohexane. Alright? You getting it? That's very simple. That's how we name cycloalkane. Now, here's the catch. What about if I have an attachment here? Sige, what would be the name? Maybe this image looks familiar now. Na parang nakikita na natin to somewhere. So, wag kabahan, no? The rules are very similar to alkanes, as I've been repeatedly saying. So, you just have to count starting with the attachment. So that, the rule says, your attachments, no, sir, may nagtanong pala sa akin, sir, paiba-iba ka po ng ginagamit. Attachment, side chain, branch, substituent. So, yung attachment, the one that are being attached to your main chain, they are also called substituents because instead of carbon, they substitute another, instead of a hydrogen, rather, a carbon or a bromine or a chlorine substitutes the hydrogen. So, substituent. Side chain din siya minsan kasi instead of a straight chain, dun sa side, tumutubo. Sometimes it's called a branch chain. So, don't be confused when I interchange them. They are all synonymous. So, going back, that becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, 6, I have a methyl here. So, kahit saan ako magsimula, since it's a 3-dimensional, so pwedeng magbilang ako papunta dito. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yan. Pwede na pabaliktad. So, that will be my 1-methyl cyclo. So, the name will be 1-methyl cyclohexane. Sige. Did you notice something? Alright. Sige, if you are observant enough, no, and if you've been following our rules, no, you'll realize that there's no need to write the 1 here. No, it's simply methyl cyclohexane. So sorry again for my penmanship. It's because there's no other attachment. No? There are no other attachments. There are no other substituents. Therefore, it's obvious that your methyl is attached in your first carbon. Alright. When do we use another number? So, ganito. Halimbawa, I have a pentane here. So, i-rewrite ko siya kasi binilugan ko na. So, I have 5 carbons. So, that looks like it. Better than this one. So, I have a carbon here and another methyl here. So, how do I name it? So, this time, I have to either start from this attachment or this one. What should I consider in counting? I should consider the fact that my attachments should have the lowest possible number. So, naalala, ganito din yung sa alkane. So, ito yung sana you can follow. I'll try counting in the different ways possible. So, I can start from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This gives my methyl 1 and 3. Now, hopefully, you can follow. 1 and 3. If I count, sige, sir, bakit ka po nag-uumpisa sa methyl? Because that's the only way that I can give them the lowest possible number. So, halimbawa, nag-start ako dito, 1, pero going downwards ako, or going clockwise, tama. Counterclockwise. Sorry. Going right. So, 1, 2, or going clockwise. 3, 4, 5. Therefore, this route, mali Sir Jello, will give you 1 and 4. Sige, 1 and 4. So, 1 and 4. Therefore, I'll choose this route. 1, 2, 3. Therefore, my methyl would be at 1 and 3. And alam nyo na, the name for this one, so medyo makalat ang blackboard natin, will be 1 and 3, cyclopentane. Okay? Hopefully you can follow. Last scenario, i-set up na natin lahat ng scenario dito para the rest of the cyclic hydrocarbon, madali na lang. So, ulitin natin, kapag simple cycloalkane, madali lang kasi we count the carbon, we copy the straight-chained alkane, and then we add cyclo. So, cyclopropane, cyclobutane, cyclopentane, cyclohexane, cyclooctane, cyclodecane, etc., etc. Kapag may attachment, we make sure that the attachment has the lowest possible number. So, in cases such as may ganito, let's use this one. So, halimbawa, I'll be using my butane. I have here a bromo and I have a methyl. Sige, halimbawa may bromo ako tapos may methyl. If I count from here, 1, 2, 3, that's 1, 3. Hopefully you can follow. If here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3 din siya, 1, 2, 3. So, parehas, 1, 3 ang makukuha ko. So, does that imply that I can start either sa methyl or sa bromo? If you answered yes, then it will be confusing because your answer could be 3 bromo, 1 methyl, cyclobutane. Hopefully you can follow. While your other classmate might answer 1 bromo, 3 methyl, cyclobutane. And we cannot have two different names in one compound. Therefore, the rule states here that in cases that the position of your alkyl attachment, either a methyl or an alkyl halide, is the same or will give you two sets of the same number, we go to the alphabetical arrangement. So meaning, B is for bromo, M is for methyl, B will be prioritized, the bromo. So I'll count 1, 2, 3, asawa ni Marie, araw-gabi, nasa party. Yan. So, 1, 2, and 3. That will become 1 bromo. So, hindi ko na isusulat. 1 bromo, 3 methyl, cyclobutane. Okay? Get it? Sige, kung medyo nalilito, let's have cyclooctane. No? So, 1, 2, 3. Paano kaya i-drawing yun? Sige, ulitin natin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dapat meron ako dito. Sige. I'll draw a cyclooctane. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nagka-curve kaya siya 5. Pangit. Ulit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nag-ano siya guys, nagki-curve. Nawala yung corner. Sana na-imagine. Dito na lang muna tayo. Maghanap na lang ako ng image next time. Ito lang tayo sa mga mabababang number. Sige, 7. Baka hindi naman to mag-curve. Alright. So, nag-curve pa rin talaga siya. Ay, pangit ang ating pens. So, mag-pentane muna tayo. So, halimbawa, I have a cyclopentane and then I have an ethyl here and then a methyl. So, by this rule, I'll start with my ethyl. 1, 2, 3 instead of methyl. However, kapag may ganito ako, so, halimbawa, meron ako ditong methyl. So, instead of alphabetizing, I'll make sure, once again, I'll go back to my numbering. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be 1, 1, 4 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4. So, halimbawa, pag dito ako nagsimula magbilang, 1, 2, 2, 3. Baka kasi malito kayo next time pag nakita kayo ng ethyl or a bromo or a chloro, yun na agad inuuna. So, kapag may tatlo, no, meaning hindi equidistant, babalik ako dun sa second rule ko na make sure that they are in lowest possible number. That would be 1, 2, and 4. So, 1, 1, 2, and 4. Kapag nagsulat ako, nag-count ako from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, that would be 1, 3, and 4. That would be a lot bigger as compared to this one. No? A carbon bigger as compared to this one. So, this will be the right way of naming it or writing and counting. So, this becomes 4-ethyl, 1,2 dimethyl cyclopentane. So, if you're confused, you can jot it down. No, nahirapan kasi tayo magsulat. So, that is how you name your cycloalkanes. Now, how about our cycloalkenes? So, very similar. The difference is that for cycloalkenes, we have a double bond. So, again, there's no cyclomethane. There's no methane. There's no cycloethene. So, we always start with a triangle. No, with one double bond. Sir, pwede bang dito siya or pwedeng dito siya? Of course, again, it's three-dimensional. So, this one is your cyclopropene, no, with E. Pag ganito, yan, at least one pwede tong dalawang double bond. This is your cyclobutene. Now, if I continue, I'll have my cyclopentene, hexene, cycloheptene, etc., etc. So, basta may double bond, therefore, that's an alkene. Now, if there is an attachment, so, halimbawa, gamitin natin tong example. So, this one is a cyclobutene. By the way, maybe you'll ask, sir, hindi na po natin lalagay na 1 and 2, 3, 4 or magka-count. If you count, you'll start with a double bond. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. This becomes 1 cyclobutene. And since there's a given here, no, therefore, it's intended without even placing the 1 here that it's a 1 cyclobutene. Okay lang tayo maglalagay ng 1. Halimbawa, I have a double bond here. So, double bond siya in my cyclobutene. So, sana napipicture out, sana nakakasabay pa. So, I'll start counting 1, 2, 3, 4 or 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't matter as long as I cover the double bond first, any of the double bond. So, ito yung mali dito Pag nag-count ka, 1, 2, mali ito kasi nag-start ka sa carbon but you didn't proceed with the double bond. So, the counting should be, if you start with a double bond, make sure to go in such a way that the next carbon of the double bond will be your number 2. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. This time, since I have a double bond, this becomes 1, 3. 1, 3. Cyclobutene. Dicyclobutene. Okay? So, because I have a double bond in my 1 and 3. So, 1, 3, dicyclobutene. Okay? In cases na may double bond at attachment, so, for sure, parang familiar na din to sa inyo kung paano papangalanan. So, gawin ulit natin ang bahay. I have a double bond here and I have an attachment here. So, anong uunahin ko? So, should I go from my attachment or from my bond? So, probably you'll answer bond because bond is stronger than the attachment. And that is right. However, how will I proceed also matters. Because this can be, again, kailangan ko i-cover ang bond. So, pwedeng 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or, I can go in this way. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, ano yung tama? So, in cases like this one, nagkataon na parehas 1, 2, and 4, 1, 2, and 4. No? However, if I go from clockwise or counterclockwise on some scenario na merong may mas mababa na set of numbers, no? Total number in the set, no? Kapag inad ko tong 1, 2, 4, that's 7, 1, 2, 4, so equal sila, either way, that would be fine. In cases na hindi, I'll choose the value or the route that will give me the lowest possible number. So don't worry, on Friday again, I'll give you a lot of examples about this one. So this becomes, I have a 4, so that's 4-methyl. 4-methyl, and then I have 1 double bond, so I can write 4-methyl 1-cyclopentane, or I can simply write cyclopentene. So why is that? It's because I know that my double bond is in my first carbon, and if I write this one, eto din lang yung kakalabasan. That's 4-methyl cyclopentene. Now, excuse me, for your task, so just to check if you're watching the video, try to name this compound. Yan, hindi na siya nagki-curve. So that's, bilugan ko ng carbon para hindi kayo malito. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright? And then, I have a methyl here. I have an ethyl here. I have a double bond here. And I have a chloro here. Sige, name this one in the private comment of your task number 2. What is the name of this cycloalkene? No, and yan, for the last example, for our cycloalkene, we have a special type of cycloalkene, no, a hexene with triple bonds, with 3 double bonds rather, with triple bonds, my bad, with 3 double bonds. So ganito yung itsura niya. Yeah, how I wish I could illustrate it further. So that's a 6 carbon chain. Yan. So either in that form or in this form, no. These are, no, this is a cyclo 1 3 1 2 3 1 3 5 hexene, no, but this is already called a benzene. Now, this is a very special aromatic, no, or arene. This is called a benzene. So ito yung naamoy natin na minsan addict yung iba sa gasolina. So that's the smell of your benzene. It's a 6 carbon cyclic compounds with 3 double bonds, no, that is seemingly perfectly balanced. Kasi ito, again, pwede siya dito or dito or dito. So parang since it's moving, no, in higher chem, you'll learn about sigma and pi bond. Parang the electrons, the bonds these are electrons. They are moving continuously, that they spread out equally inside your hexene, no. Some draw it like this one, no. Oftentimes ito na nga ang ginagamit na pag-drawing. Sige, sorry. Ang hirap talaga mag-sketch dito. So, tapos may circle dyan. So, that's a circle. Sorry. So, this is what we call a benzene ring. No, this is a very special cycloalkane. So, ito lang naman yung naiiba. The rest, we follow them. So, halimbawa, nilagyan ko dito ng isang carbon chain. That's just methyl. So, nasa 1. So, methylbenzene. No? Pag nilagyan ko pa ng isa, so that's 1-ethyl, 2-methylbenzene kapag nilagyan ko ng ganyan. Hopefully, nagiget. It's a special name given to this 6 carbon chain with 3 double bonds. Right, that's cycloalkane. And finally, sorry kung binibilisan ko, I don't want you to watch video more than 40 minutes. So finally, our cycloalkynes, kailangan lang may triple bond. So I'll just give one example here para yung task nyo isa lang din. So here, obviously, kapag may triple bond, sa halimbawa, dito, I have a triple bond here. So, may straight chain tayo dito. So, this becomes, halimbawa, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, it looks different. So, this becomes, some books tend to use the triple bond in a straight way. So, pwedeng may makita kayong ganito. So, para hindi tuloy tayo malito, we'll follow the same idea. No? As long as we know that in a straight chain, the triple bond makes the carbon connection very straight. So, halimbawa, ito na lang para hindi na tayo mahirapan. So, baka malito kayo lalo. May triple bond tayo. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a cyclopentine. No? And cyclohexane, etc., etc. In cases, ito lang naman ang importante sa cycloalkyne. In cases that there is a double bond and a triple bond present, so, halimbawa ganito, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, tapos may double bond ka dito, and may triple bond ka dito. So, ano yung ipa-prioritize mo? If they're in equidistant, in an equiposition, the double bond takes precedence. No? We give priority to the double bond. Pero kung magkatabi sila, tapos may mga attachment, we give them the lowest possible number. We always start where the double bond is. So, yan lang yung tatandaan. So, either I'll start counting from here, 1, 2, or 1, 2. Depende kung saan mas malapit si triple bond. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. That be 1, 4. Dito naman, 1, 2, 3, 4. Parehas lang naman. So, how do I name this one? So, this becomes, since I have a double bond here, so, 1, cyclo, 7 siya. So, hept, 10, without E, and then 4, ine. So, again, very similar sa ating straight chain, kaya minamadali ko na, except that we have a cyclo. And also, we'll give more examples on Friday about this one. You can clarify things should you wish to ask anything about our cyclic hydrocarbons. So, there you have it. The rules in naming cycloalkane, alkenes, and alkynes. So, again, these are not random things. These are things we use every day. Our transportation, rain boots, light, in our pavements on the road, gasoline, the food we smell, etc., etc. So, again, hopefully, you're learning kahit despite the difficulty of online setup. And if you have question, you can email me. And yan. Once again, thank you for listening. See you on Friday. Please accomplish the task that I gave you. Peace out.